Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Hot Jobs at HireMilitary. Thank you so much for joining us today on a lovely Tuesday afternoon. We have some really incredible opportunities to share for our viewers today, to include DoD SkillBridge internships and full-time direct hire roles. As always, if you're a transitioning service member, a veteran, or a military spouse, please tell us where you're tuning in from. It's always so much fun to see the wide range of geographic locations that we have that find us here every week at Hot Jobs. So please drop that in the chats as we continue here today. Also, if it's your first time with us here at Hot Jobs, we are so glad that you are here and that you have found us and have taken a few minutes out of your day to hear about some really great opportunities. So just drop that in the chat as well if you are a first-time viewer. I know that's always just really fun to see how many first-time viewers we have as well. So here at the recruiting team at HireMilitary, we've adopted a tagline of New Year, New Career, and we really desire to help as many of you as humanly possible in finding your new career this year. So as you're introducing yourself in the chats, we'd love to know more about you. If you're a transitioning service member, or if you're a veteran and looking for a new role, or if you're a military spouse trying to find your next career. Just tell us a little bit more about yourself, as well as industries you're interested in, any job titles that you're targeting, certain locations that you're trying to find work in as well. All of that information is so great. If it doesn't match one of the roles that we're currently sharing today, we have a lot of other opportunities as well. So it's a great way for us to get to know you and see if there's other opportunities out there that we have that could be a match for you. So please just drop all of that information in the chats. And we love to see not only us learning more about you, but we've found that a lot of people find great connections in the chats with other viewers, people that are stationed at the same places, or maybe you're PCSing to a location where someone else is at. It's always just great for our community to get to know each other there. So while everyone is introducing themselves in the chats, I'd like to take a few moments for our team to introduce themselves. And I'll go first. I am Kate Wood. I am one of the recruiters here at HireMilitary. I'm an Army veteran and a military spouse. My husband is still on active duty, and we are currently stationed near Eglin Air Force Base in Northwest Florida. And next, I will throw it to Lucy. Lucy, hello.
Hey, Kate, I nearly forgot to take myself off of mute there. How are you guys this morning? It's lovely to see you. I'm Lucy Robinson. I work in the recruiting team here at HireMilitary. I'm an active duty Air Force spouse. As you can tell, I'm not from the US originally. I come by way of London, England, through Germany for many, many years, and we are currently stationed in the middle of nowhere, Alaska. So for those in the know, that's just outside of Fort Wainwright. We're at Eielson Air Force Base, the tiniest, smallest, probably oldest installation in the military. It's really lovely to see you. I am warming up a little bit. If you've been following us for a while, you'll know that I talk about the weather every week. We're at 0 degrees today, and we are gaining 45 minutes of sunlight every week. So it will be all day sun soon enough. Amber, what about you?
Hey, Lucy. I was going to say too earlier, like I've been seeing a little bit more sunshine through your window. That's really exciting. I'm Amber. I'm on the recruiting team here at HireMilitary. I'm an Air Force veteran. My husband is still active duty Air Force, and he does some Army support at Fort Sam. So we're in San Antonio, and we just love it so much. Kadeen.
Hey everyone, I'm back. My name is Katie, as you already know. So I'm also in a very cold state, which is currently snowing right now. So I'm in Colorado. I just relocated from Oklahoma. So I'm a SkillBridge intern here at HireMilitary. So I'm very excited to be sourcing for great position for all of you guys. So yeah, I'm just so excited. Thank you.
Well, hello, Kadeen. We are so happy to have you on our team. And you have such a fantastic and unique perspective, being in the SkillBridge program yourself, and then helping other transitioning service members find their SkillBridge internships as well. So glad to have you here. I know we're going to hear more from you later on some really fantastic DoD SkillBridge opportunities that we have currently. But if you've turned into a recent broadcast, you'll remember that we take about the last 5 to 10 minutes of our broadcast to answer job search related questions. And we've really enjoyed this time for our recruiters just to share some tips, tricks, advice during these broadcasts, as we really find it's just a time where we can give value back to you, our community, And today we're actually highlighting 3 different questions that we had from viewers on past broadcasts. So as we go through the broadcast today, just type those questions in the chat, whether it relates to formatting resumes or searching for specific types of roles, or it's transition related or skill bridge related, cover letters, name it. Just type those questions in the chats and we'll try to get to them at the end of this broadcast. And if we don't get to them today, we'll follow them in a or talk about them in another broadcast in the future. So back to hot jobs, which is what we're here to discuss today. Just as a caveat, as we share roles with our community here today, you can just comment in the chats with the specific title of the role that you're interested in. And we'll be able to reach out to you directly to give you the direct link in order to find out more about the role and apply. I know we have another person from our recruiting team in the chats, Brandy Walker. She'll be in the chats today, sharing links and trying to answer questions as we go as well. So again, if you're interested in a specific role, you can just type the title of the role in the chat and that'll let us know to reach out to you following the broadcast. So let's get into it. Kadeen, I know you have some really great DoD SkillBridge internships to share with us today.
I do. So you guys, I have some amazing opportunities that are all over the United States that may interest you. So let me go ahead and share those positions with you. Okay, so to begin, give me 1 second. We actually have an IT support engineer with a company called Orchard. So as I said, there's multiple locations that are available. For this position, they're looking for someone who's able to deploy computers, someone who's able to do ticketing systems, to take customers that walk in via email, phone calls, create tickets, prioritize. They're looking for someone who's seasoned with just IT engineering, IT support background. So when it comes to the qualification, they want someone who has at least 2 years of hands-on IT experience. So if you have an enterprise background for military that's just working with a large base of people, they're looking for someone who is able to handle large workloads. So if you feel like you're qualified for that position, go ahead and apply. Again, there's multiple locations, so just choose what's best for you. And we're also wanting someone who has experience with Windows or Mac OS. So if you have experience with any of those qualifications, go ahead and apply. So the next position we have is an inbound service advisor. So this is also with Orchard. This is more so a real estate sales position. So for this role, you're going to be the point of contact. You're the face of the company. You're meeting with the clients. You're that middleman between Orchard and the homeowners. So you're making sure that they have a smooth transition. You're making sure that you are qualifying data, making sure that you present it to the company. We just want to make sure that the homeowners have a great experience. So they're wanting someone who has about 1 to 2 years of sales or real estate experience. But the best part of this position is if you do not have real estate experience, they are willing to pay for you to get that license, which is unheard of. So if you're wanting to pivot your career to real estate, this is a great opportunity to get in there, to get that license, get the experience, and get that hands-on, just being able to do it, So that is a great opportunity. And then we have a position for a propeller technician. So this is with a company called Wärtsilä. And in this position, you are responsible, you're inspecting, you're measuring and restoring tolerance condition for all customer support product. You are gauging and using hand tools, hair and electronic tools. So you're having to be hands-on. You're having to be getting down and dirty, making sure that you're able to perform these tasks. You have to maintain an overall shop cleanliness, making sure that you're clean, you're proficient, you're able to keep stock of all the safety security items, and you're making sure that you work well with all your colleagues. You're going to be a part of a team, so just making sure you're able to get along with multiple personalities. So they're wanting someone to have a mechanical background, knowledge of hair and hand tools, and they want someone with an overall understanding of assembly. So if you have a mechanic career field, that will transfer very well into said position. So, the next position we have is an exciting position because I know everyone wants to be a recruiter. So, we have an IT recruiting position for a company called Collinwood Technology. So, for this position, you are pipelining candidates. It's about sourcing. You're going and doing an interview. Basically, what we do, you're doing for this company for technical positions. You're making sure you have the right candidate, making sure they have the best background for the specific job that the manager is wanting to fill. So this internship, the training takes place in West Chicago. When the internship is over, you are going to be placed West Chicago or Dallas, Texas. So if those areas are somewhere where you're wanting to locate, you may want to look into this position. So ideally, they want someone who is self-motivated, someone who is driven, someone who's able to be social, right? Do you have a network following on LinkedIn? Are you connected on Instagram? Do you use social media in general? They want someone who's able to go out there to source to get the right candidate and plug them in within their company. So those are all the positions I have. If you think you're qualified, again, I always tell you every week, tailor your resume, get it out there, apply, and yeah, transition out the military. Thank you guys so much.
Kadeen, thank you so much. Wow, these are really such a diverse range of different SkillBridge internships. Again, Kadeen mentioned the IT support engineer, the inbound service advisor, propeller technician, and information technology recruiter. So if you are available for a DoD SkillBridge internship, you can just type, and you're interested in one of those roles, so you can just type the title into the chats there. It'll take you to the full, once we give you the link in the chats, it'll take you to the full position description where you can read a lot more about them. Again, a lot of these had multiple locations, so you can definitely check in to see if any of those locations are ideal for you. Thank you so much, Kadeen, for sharing those DoD SkillBridge internships. And next up, we have Amber. Amber's going to be sharing some direct hire opportunities for us.
Yeah, thanks, Kate. Also, thank you, Katie. Those are some really exciting SkillBridge opportunities that you have. So my first role that I'm talking about today is a lead backend developer. So this is a completely remote role. Kate, I know you've been working with this team for a little while now, and they are just wonderful, wonderful. But they're based out of Pasadena. They have some office space there in Pasadena, California, but they are open to that remote capacity. So our client does the end-to-end AI solution-based work. They do, for this lead backend developer, want 4 years of Python experience. That includes the testing and mocking, in addition to some experience with both Flask and Docker. If you have some cloud experience, working in the cloud environment, that's really a benefit in this particular case. So ideally, they're looking for somebody that's really willing to step up and step into new things, right? Knowing that it is a startup and it kind of comes with all sorts of new challenges. So this person will be part of a 5-person team. I know that in the development world, lots of people really want to know sort of that makeup dynamically of what the team will look like. So part of a 5-person team. Again, that's a lead backend developer, and it's a remote position.
Fantastic. Thank you. And you have another position that's on site in Chicago.
I do. Yeah, there's a couple locations, and I'll kind of get into the nitty gritty for those locations, but it's an electronic service technician. And this is with an IT service company. They're headquartered out of Illinois, but they do serve clients across 47 states nationwide, which is really exciting for us. So some of the locations that they're looking for specifically in the Chicago area include Schaumburg, Barrington, Woodstock, Rockford, and that North Chicago area overall. So qualifications for the electronic service technician include a mechanical and electrical aptitude and basic networking knowledge. They do have an urge on that, or a huge desire to really lean into that customer service piece that our military demographic brings, and knowing that their objective really is to help their customers succeed. So some customer service expertise is definitely wanted there. So if you've got some experience, if you're located in the Chicago metro, definitely reach out to me with any questions. I'm happy to help.
Fantastic. And that's a good caveat right there, connecting with us, right? So please, if you're not already connected with us on LinkedIn, definitely connect with us, follow us. We are constantly posting new roles that we have available both on the DoD SkillBridge internship and the direct hire side, as well as just being connected with you out there in our military community. We just love to be connected and follow along with your endeavors and successes as well. So that's just a plug to connect with us on LinkedIn. But yes, just as a reminder, Amber mentioned the lead backend developer role, which is remote, and electronic service technician with multiple opportunities in the greater Chicago area. So if you're interested in either one of those roles, you can just type the title there in the chat and we'll know to reach out with you and send the link over to look at the full position description and apply. So I'm going to be sharing a couple roles here as well on the direct hire side. The first being a proposal manager. We have a client that is an innovative and progressive and veteran-owned data science and IT company. They are based in Maryland, but this is a fully remote role, and they are seeking a proposal manager to handle contract administration for government and commercial clients. The perfect proposal manager will have skills surrounding RFP review, client negotiations, and setting up projects in the cost accounting system. Ideally, they want someone with a bachelor's degree and 5 or more years of experience writing and editing federal government proposals. They really want someone that just has really good back-to-back knowledge of federal government acquisition process. They are building out their team there, and they are growing at a rapid pace. So they really need someone to come step in and manage that proposal management process. So if you have that background and that experience and want to work with a really dynamic team in a remote capacity, then proposal manager might be the role for you. So you can just type that into the chats and I will reach out to you directly to answer any questions that you might have and provide more information as well. And the next role I have is a production manager position. This is in Fresno, Texas, which is in the greater Houston area. The production manager role is for a global manufacturing company, and they're looking for multiple openings for this position. So I think we have three vacancies that we're filling for this exact production manager role. And again, it's at their Fresno, Texas facility. The production manager will be responsible for strategic management of the production group to achieve maximum productivity and results that align with their organizational goals. They are requiring this position to have a high school diploma or associate's degree, and ideally 3 to 5 years of experience in manufacturing, also having had manufacturing experience in supervisory positions. So if you have a good understanding of manufacturing or have worked in that lane before and have also had some direct leadership in that way as well, they're really ideally looking for you. And again, this is a production manager role in Fresno, Texas, which is in the greater Houston area. So that is the roles that we're covering today. Again, if you heard of a DoD SkillBridge internship or direct hire position that we mentioned here today, you can just type that title of that role in the chat and we'll know to reach out to you directly to provide more information, as well as a direct link. But you can also find these roles as well as all of our other roles on our careers page and our internships page, where we have, I think it's over 50 direct hire positions and over 300 DoD SkillBridge internships. So if there isn't something that you heard of here today that's of interest, we have more. Okay, there is much more where it came from. A lot more industries and roles out there, different locations, both remote and on-site nationwide. So let us get into, I think, one of my favorite parts of our broadcast, which is sharing some tips, tricks, and advice around job searching, resumes, different things like that as well. And I'm going to throw it to Lucy to kind of introduce what she wants to talk about.
You guys, everybody out there, what I need to tell you before I start talking is today's LinkedIn Live is the absolute epitome of the show must go on. We can't see any of your comments right now. So as Kate, Amber, and Kadeen have been talking, I have been committing to memory from LinkedIn everything that you have been saying so that I can try and answer as many questions as possible. Tech failure, but we're really trying our best. So hi to everybody. Yes, this is t-shirt weather in Alaska. You are right. And if you miss Alaska, come back and I would happily swap places. That's a joke. I'm really looking forward to camping season here. There was one comment that I did want to acknowledge before I start talking, which is somebody asked, are there any logistics or supply chain or transportation jobs in the DMV, so DC, Maryland area? Yes, there is. We have one right now. So connect with Kate after this or take a look at our website. We will try and put that link in there for you afterwards. We just haven't talked about it today. So I have over the weeks we've been doing this, tried to sense a theme of the sorts of questions that you've been asking. And one of them is, and this is a really good one, and it's up for discussion with Kadeen, with Amber, and with Kate today, which is, do businesses see the years of experience? So does corporate America value the military experience, the whole of the career, as much as they value the same in the civilian market? So if you've got a 20-year HR experience in the military, is that the same as a 20-year HR or marketing or recruiting in the corporate world? And the long and short answer is yes and no. It really depends. It really depends if the experience you have is relevant to the experience that they're looking for. And this again feeds back into not sending your generic resume that you've written or you've had a professional resume writer write with you. You need to make sure on every single occasion that you are submitting your resume that you are targeting it. You are taking what they are looking for and you are writing that in your resume. You're saying, hey, Mr. Amazon, hey, Ms. Bank of America, you've asked for X, Y, and Z, and I've shown you in my resume I've got X, Y, and Z. Don't just give them your resume, which is the rearview mirror, which basically says what you've done without considering what version of you they're looking for when you apply. I mean, Kate, Amber, what do you think?
This is such a great topic, Lucy. And I think it goes to another point as well of, and we've talked about this before, is if you're positioning yourself as a recruiter, or if you're positioning yourself as a project manager or an operations manager, the verbiage in your resume and the results of what you've done have to match that as well. We've talked about before how, as recruiters, we use Control F to find relevant keywords or acronyms that are used in that industry. And sometimes you'll have someone that is applied for a recruiter position and they don't have, those recruiting keywords in their resume. They may have done it, but they just haven't tailored it to that way. And so I think that's a really great point of, shaping your experiences directly to the role that you're looking to apply for, and making sure that it's on, it's in line with what industry standards are and the types of verbiage that is used and the types of metrics that they look for results in those different industries. Not just taking, the thousands of people you've managed in the military and having those numbers on your resume, but what metrics and what results drive the industries that you're applying to, and translating it into those relevant keywords, relevant statements on your resume.
And I think also something to consider, and actually this is my next point, but I'm going to segue earlier into it rather than later, is understanding what your function, what your vertical, your industry in the civilian world is. Yes, you may have had a stellar, phenomenal 20-year career in personnel or HR within the military, but is that the same in the civilian world? Is HR in the civilian world the same as HR in the military? And honestly, the answer is no. I can tell you that right now. Is recruiting the same? No, it's not. What I do on a daily basis is so far away from what a recruiter does in the Air Force or in the Army. We just have the same job title. And that's exacerbated and acknowledged to us because we work with so many clients across the US who will use the term, for example, operations associate. With one organization, that means you're working in a warehouse. In another organization, that means you're an administrator. Same job title, but two wholly different functions and different positions. And I guess where I'm going into the next steps is you really need to be talking to people. So one of the questions that I had recently was, hey, I'm retiring from a 20-year career in the Army. What's my first step? Okay, great. My first reaction is, or my first question, well, what do you want to do? And so they'll tell me, and I'll go, but actually, is that what you really want to do? You've been in supply chain management in the Army for 20 years. Do you know that supply chain management is the same in the corporate, in the civilian world, as it is in the Army? You do. Okay, so how do you know that? Have you talked to people? Have you networked? Have you utilized your network, either your own personal relationships that you have developed over your 20-year career in the military, to talk to people who are already out and who have already transitioned? Or have you networked here on LinkedIn? Like, you want to work for Amazon? Amazing. Look up supply chain managers in Amazon and then filter by the Army or the Air Force. If you don't see anybody Army, but I promise you will. And send a connection request. Ask if you can have a chat with them. Don't send a big war and peace message, but at least, a 1 or 2 liner and tell them who you are, what you're looking to achieve, and ask if they've got 5 or 10 minutes to chat. On average, I would say 99 times out of 100, they will say yes because they really want to help you. They've struggled or they've gone through it themselves. And as a brother and sister, they want to support you in your transition. And then the last thing that I've been thinking about talking to you guys over the last week or so is somebody said to me recently that they had had a horrible job search so far. And they had realized, personally, I think wrongly, but this is their own personal experience and it's very subjective, that experience and credentials are just a thing if there are no needs. And their specific job title, I can tell you, there are absolute needs in the civilian world for these roles. I know of multiple positions that are being recruited, but the main difference is not every position is advertised on Indeed or LinkedIn or ZipRecruiter or wherever you go and find your jobs these days. Google Jobs. Always look at Google Jobs too, if you're not familiar with it. Lots of them are advertised internally or people are picked up and recruited through word of mouth. How do you become part of that word of mouth? It goes back to the networking piece again. It goes back to building relationships, talking to people. Oh, you want a role in behavioral health. You can't find anything that's suitable for you because you are settling, I don't know, Boise, Idaho. Start searching behavioral health therapists in Boise, Idaho. Then funnel by military, Army, Air Force, Marines, whichever branch you're in first of all, and then move on if you don't find anybody you've served with. And reach out, have those conversations. It is such an easy ask, especially if you're 12 months out, because all you are doing is your discovery and your due diligence. You're not asking for a job there and then. You're just trying to identify for you, A, is there a need? Where is it? And do you actually fit that need? And if not, then you've got the perfect amount of time to go and, identify whatever the civilian credential is that you will need to be successful in that career field. And you can utilize the Army's money, the Air Force's money, whoever, to actually go out and get that credential. I think the biggest piece that is missing in the jigsaw puzzle in terms of military transition is the lack of talking to people, the assumption that it's going to be okay. And you know what? It always is okay. But sometimes it may take longer than you want if you don't start having these conversations up front. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with Mike Quinn. He is our CEO at HireMilitary. Every 6 weeks or so, he does the most stellar, the most phenomenal LinkedIn workshop with USO Transitions team. And we will give you the link to that when the next one comes up. It is on March the 9th, so put that date in your diary. As soon as we have the link to register, we will get that up here. But definitely consider going along to something like that, because it's all well and good sitting here today, listening to us say all of these things. But then the next point is, that's great, but how do we actually do it? We're going to show you how to do it, because we don't just talk the talk, we walk it as well. We want to guide you through that. And in conjunction with that, we do have 2 strategic partners that we work with, 2 nonprofits across the military space. One is Vet Jobs or Military Spouse Jobs. So definitely look them up. They are great in terms of giving you free career counseling, interview advice. They support you on resume writing, everything you need at the front end of finding a position. They also do that counseling piece where they will ask you those questions that I've just asked, but specifically to guide you towards where you think you may want to go. And then when you've identified that, I couldn't recommend enough Onward to Opportunity. They offer a free career training program that provide professional certifications. So anything from IT and cyber to business management and HR. So definitely connect and look those 2 organizations up. That's it from me.
Lucy, wow, this is such fantastic information. Obviously the tips, tricks, advice, and just relaying what's relevant in the industry and what we've seen work, what we've seen not work. And I can't say enough about informational interviews. You can never do enough informational interviews prior to a transition or a career pivot as well. So that is such great advice. And those 2 resources are fantastic. Vet Jobs, Onward to Opportunity. Always look those up as well. We did have a couple questions come through. I know, Lucy, you were able to paste those here quickly. So I did want to mention those just quick while we have the 2 viewers on that asked them. The first was, if the position in Fresno can be remote. And unfortunately, no, this is an on-site position at the company's facility there in Fresno, Texas. And then someone asked, what is SkillBridge? If you're not familiar, SkillBridge is a program for transitioning service members within their last 180 days on active duty service. It's an opportunity for transitioning service members to get industry experience with corporations and while they are still in the military. So that's on the last 180 days of service from the military. So just wanted to answer those two questions there quickly. I know we are coming up on 30 minutes. We want to be respectful of everyone's time. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in today, and for Kadeen and Amber and Lucy and Brandy in the chats that we can't see. But thank you, Brandy, for being there and for sharing information with our community. It's just so great. This is such a highlight of all of our weeks, having this time here to interact with all of you. And just hopefully share some opportunities that could be someone's next career. So if you didn't hear of anything today that was of interest, again, we have over 300 SkillBridge internships and over 60 full-time permanent roles to choose from, both fully remote and on-site nationwide. So please take a look. And if you don't find anything that's of interest right now, you can join our talent pipeline where we send out new roles every week. So please do that as well. And thank you so much for everyone for tuning in, for interacting in the chats. Hopefully you all had a great time in the chats, even though we couldn't see it today. So thank you. And we really hope to see you next week for another Hot Jobs with HireMilitary. Thank you so much, everyone, and take care.
Bye.